Hi, this is Bill Pong, and this is the Week 5 calibration, assignment calibration forum. So pressures I felt in giving students a certain grade, there are several pressures that I felt doing this project. One was making sure that I'm grading it correctly and fairly. Another one is making sure that I'm using the rubric thoroughly and reading the paper thoroughly while using specific section of the rubric in a rigorous way to grade the paper. Lastly is because this topic is really not my expertise, so therefore I feel a little less confident in terms of grading the content of this paper. Now the next question is, why did I apply the rubric the way I did? Well, I used the rubric, the criteria within the rubric, and I also used the criteria questions, where it says yes or no and a comment section. I particularly find this document very useful because I can use those questions and kind of mash it up with the paper and say, well, did the paper cover this particular question, yes or no? And if it did, I can offer some comments that great job. If it didn't, I can say, well, we're missing some things here. And also allows me to provide some constructive, actionable feedback for the student. So I particularly like that particular part of the exercise. I actually have to read the paper several times to make sure that I give the student all the credit they deserve on this paper, and also identify opportunities where they can improve. They can add more feedback and more value to the paper, and also some actionable feedback. I felt that the content portion is important, as students are expected to provide some substance and critical thinking in their work. But as for the APA format, style, and that sort of thing, I believe the students should be expected to do a really thorough job. These are skills that they would acquire writing papers, and really should avoid any sloppy mistakes. So I might have graded that a little more tough than the content portion. In terms of scores, how did I feel my scores compared to my classmates? I think that my score kind of fell right in the middle among my classmates, and even prior to my reviewing the scores among the class, I thought that my score would be a little harsh or a little tough compared to everybody else, because I spent a lot of time really combing through it. But then looking at where it landed, I felt that it was appropriate. I probably would not change my score because I really spent a lot of time and effort grading this paper, reading it through several times, going through the rubric with the detailed questions, and making sure I've combed through all the areas and provide some really good feedback for the student. So I did notice there's some discrepancy among the class in terms of the scores for the paper. I did not notice any big discrepancy between myself and the rest of the classmates. As I said before, my score fell kind of right in the middle of the class. I believe there are several contributions that can cause variation in the score, and this includes interpretation of the rubric. So that's really left up to the individual instructor to interpret how the rubric is used. Experience in grading comes into play, and then expertise in an assignment topic, as I said before, does have an impact how we grade and understand the paper. And lastly, the instructor's grading philosophy. We all have our own different philosophies how we grade, and we apply those philosophies every time we teach our students. So that could vary as well. Overall, I felt this was a great opportunity experience to go through this exercise, and I continue looking forward to working with everybody in the class. Have a great day.